Hello and welcome to another awesome episode of the Game of Thrones Season 8's episode recap. I'm joined in by Nick from Buzzpop and Ken from Kakuchopurei. I'm of course your esteemed host, Mr. Toffee, also from Kakuchopurei, thekKP.com. So guys, now that we had the second episode, I feel that it could be a little bit more of the same, but at the same time, like same different, you know, that little phrase that you hear. So what do you guys think?
I feel it's a very important episode. It's more of the same, kind of like last week, but like we said last week, it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
And
this is more calms, right?
Yeah, they're
more
tying
calms.
up all the loose ends of like, okay, we used to meet, or just before a lot of people die. That's what I feel.
I felt it's more like a continuation of. I wouldn't even call it an episode 2. It feels more like a 1.5.
Yeah.
So obviously what's established in episode 1, and then it follows through in episode 2. I like that there's a bit more time to develop, and I just felt like with what we got in this sort of longer episode, they could have just mashed things together, and no one would complain about it. I think.
I feel this episode, or I get the feeling by this episode that this season's gonna be like one long movie. So it says it's episode 2, but we're still in Winterfell and we're still tying things up. So the approach this season might be you're watching one long 8-hour movie.
Okay. Also, I feel that I agree what you said about it being a long movie.
Yeah.
And the time jump, there's almost no time jump from actually the start of episode 1 until the end of episode 2. It's
still that one night or one day.
Yeah, probably within, I don't know, like Jamie reached that evening. I mean, like, they carry off from where and then everything happened, and then they say they're gonna come tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird thing. It's like watching 24.
Definitely. Which we're used to for the past 7 seasons. Every episode is a different day or a different week. Now, in terms of linear timeline, it's the same day.
Yeah.
So it's like probably 30 minutes, like the same few days, like an hour per episode. Yeah. Again, the 24 section way of doing things.
It's gonna be crazy.
I like the build up, and you could call this episode the build up for the big one. And we were talking about earlier, we were just discussing how they are setting up a lot of potential deaths. And what do you think?
I mean, even if you look at the opening animatics, I like how they change it up.
Yeah, again,
it's an evolution. You see, last is frozen over now. Last episode, it was still flipping over the tiles.
Yeah.
Now it's just frozen over.
Yep.
It just shows like the mini conquests that the undead walkers are actually
it's like
doing.
a progress bar, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Now loading, yeah.
Was it flipping towards Winterfell?
Yeah. So last is frozen over, and then they're slowly flipping over the tiles to Winterfell.
Okay.
And then when we get over to Winterfell, you get to see Winterfell is now heavily barricaded. You get to see the what do you call it? Those crosses with the.
Yeah, that's like
the trenches.
The trenches.
Something. Yeah. Those like 3-legged thingies, right?
Yeah, trenches are now up, and then everything's lighted up.
Brienne didn't make an appearance last week,
Brienne got
she got a lot of attention. A lot of attention this week. Yes.
I feel that they've done a lot of justice for Gwendolyn Christie because I'm gonna segue a bit here, but how she's so underused in Star Wars, and then you've seen, that potential that's been missed.
Yeah, and now you see that. I mean, at the start of the episode, you see Jaime already in court. The King's Court. Trying the Daenerys and Sansa going to pass judgment, but then all of a sudden, Brienne of Tarth just comes up and defends Jaime's honor, like, oh, he did this and that, he armored me, I was gonna be raped, but then Jaime saved me, and it cost him his right arm, right? Yeah. So right arm gone. Noble sacrifice and all that. So whatever happened to Jaime during the past few seasons changed him already, and Brienne saw that. And then obviously Sansa was going to be siding with Brienne because she protected her and stuff.
That was a nice play, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Because it looked like Jaime was going to get. But then when she stepped up and saying that, hey, it was because of him that I saved your ass and you're sitting there now.
Yes.
Ooh.
I
can't argue that logic.
It's like, wow.
And I don't want to look bad in front of my subjects. So there you go.
It's good when you say it's tying up loose ends, but because it actually, remember season 4, remember season 5. It's just, it does feel like a fan service, sort of, but also it kind of shows the evolution of all these characters.
Definitely.
Because later towards that, I think, remember they were sitting in front of the fire, and then
Yes.
and then Tyrion said, all of us fought against the Starks.
Yes.
And here we are.
Defending
Defending the Starks in
Wow.
their home. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Everything comes full circle, feels ironic, but at the same time, the best of friends can be the best of enemies, and back and forth,
maybe the worst of enemies.
The worst of enemies, yeah. Thank you.
I feel like
yes.
under a common thread, they all come together.
Yeah, it's good what Jamie said. It's not about fighting for allegiances or whatever.
It's survival.
Yeah, it's fighting for
Survival,
survival.
yeah.
So I think he encapsulates this whole misfits coming together.
And this is actually very apparent when it comes to Bran, when, Jamie approached him at the tree.
the
Obviously
forceful,
he's
yeah.
there to apologize and all that. And then that thing he said during the court scene where Bran said,
Things we do
we'll do
for
the things we do for family, right? Or love?
love.
Things we do for love.
Love, yeah.
And that's a callback to season 1 episode
the very
1.
first episode, yeah.
Because
yeah.
that's what Jamie said, the things we do for love. And then, boop,
Yeah.
he just pushed him.
The cliffhanger ending.
Oh,
So except it's more of a ledge than a
to
cliff.
have Brad say that
Yeah.
7 seasons later,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's
Pop,
the same.
slap.
It's the same thing when he
Face.
said that reaction to Peter Baelish, right? Chaos is a ladder.
yeah.
Yes.
So he's pretty good. He's quite a good troll.
And then back to the tree scene where basically Jamie obviously he apologized, but at the same time Bran was like, nope, I'm not the same guy you once knew.
And
You
I
know?
like the line that Bran said to Jamie, how do you know if there is an afterwards?
Yes, very
which
foreboding.
gives rise to the theory that it's all like a circle.
No, the thing is, this is coming from the three-eyed raven.
Yes.
He can see the future, and he's saying like, how do you know if there is an afterwards? Like,
Yeah, he's just
what
being a
the
dick
fuck is
about it.
that,
Yeah.
man? It's like-
It basically means like, Westeros is gonna be fucked. There's probably gonna be no kingdoms. I mean, who knows? I mean, again, Bran
Is
can
he
see the
being
future.
coy, or he can't see the future beyond the
Both,
Battle of the
probably both. I mean, because no one knows how these three-eyed raven powers are outside of Bran, right?
Yeah, that's
So of course he can be coy if he wants. He can be a trickster, but at the same time, if he's not so sure, you want to have your strongest cards with you without people knowing.
Yeah.
Then you be like this idiot lah, like this jackhole who's just basically toying with people's minds and expectations. I would do that if I can see
I
the
didn't
future,
expect that for
honestly.
Brad to be an asshole, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like-
A creepy asshole who pops it at the right time, you know.
He actually answered that last week on a tweet. So basically, he wears glasses
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
real
yeah,
life,
yeah, he
but
will.
during acting he can't. So that's why he looks creepy because he can't actually.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. That's
Another one that I realized that's severely underrated was when Theon.
Oh, the Jamie Tyrion scene.
Theon.
No. Theon.
Oh,
Theon Greyjoy.
Theon Greyjoy.
Theon
yeah,
Greyjoy
yeah.
meeting Sansa because I think it's highly underrated because it shows that.
Despite all the shit they went through, they
Yeah.
still love each other.
But that's a
Yeah.
duality because remember we spoke last week about how Game of Thrones is always been about mirroring individuals whatnot.
Yeah.
And when Daenerys went to talk to Sansa, and
Oh, that's a good scene.
yeah, that's a good scene, right?
Yeah.
And then she keep on mentioning, once I'm done with this, I'm gonna take the Iron Throne or whatever. And then you see that reaction of how she, I think prior to that was her talking to Ser Jorah, right? And then you flip it, and then you look at Sansa talking to her people. It kind of shows that Dany might have all the power, have all the dragons, whatnot, but she's unable to build that sort of
Working relationship.
working relationship because she
She usually kills the people she works with a lot of the
Like
time.
when she's talking with Jorah, she's walking in front, Jorah's behind,
Yes.
like a lead,
Yep,
like,
yep.
while Sansa's sitting down with Sir, I can't remember Sir what,
Yep.
and they were just talking like, okay, you should do this, so like a boss to an employee.
Yeah.
So that's how you administrate compared to Daenerys,
Yeah,
the
she's-
queen.
So the fact that when she hugged Theon, who's just like it kind of shows that look, there are two types of leadership. There one's the boss and one's the sort of the leader.
Yeah.
And I think Daenerys is starting to see where she stands compared to the Starks.
Definitely. Yeah.
Which I think it's kind of foreshadowing on what things what's to come.
Especially when they got cut off halfway through. I mean, you could see something gonna escalate from there. Despite the fact they tried to have a working relationship.
Basically, that I like the line where you said like, I can't help but feel we're at odds with each other. Why is that?
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of their
Look, it
monologue.
also
Yeah.
shows because in that table discussion, right? And then she said, "I trust Brienne to that point."
Yeah.
How many people around Daenerys does she have?
Yeah, let's not forget Sir Jorah was the most loyal among her.
Yeah, but
obviously
even-
our love lah, but still
But even
loyal.
Sir Jorah even have opposing odds. Even when when people around you don't, when you disagree with your underlings or
Yeah.
people under you, like how she acted towards Tyrion. But we look at Theon probably betrayed Sansa in worse positions, worse
Yes,
situations.
in the-
So I think that's where the mirror and the duality comes into
So
picture.
I feel Sansa leads with love.
Mm.
Like she gives forgiveness to people, even people that have betrayed her.
Yeah.
While Dany leads by fear.
She's already thinking of
Fear,
removing
yeah.
Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean just
She
for
only leads
that.
by fear. That's the only way she knows how to lead. So that's the duality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I think that's
And we don't blame her in that sense because of her history since the first season onwards.
Yeah.
That's how she was tempered. But at the same time, yeah, take it down a notch. I mean, you're among friends. These are people you can trust. Hopefully, after the war is over against the dead,
I think the right thing. I think they're just building us. They want to see, because before
Will they,
this-
won't they, you know?
No, because we always think Dany. Oh yeah, cool. She's the Khaleesi. She has the Dothraki behind her. She has got dragons. She's cool. But a lot of people forget to see her leadership part.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're trying to show. Who's the right person to lead?
Yeah.
The Seven Kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the fact that Sansa said, "Men do stupid things for women. They're easily manipulated."
Yeah.
And then Dany came back by saying like, "Yeah, but I'm now fighting your brother's war. I came here to take over the Seven Kingdoms, but I'm now here in Winterfell, and I'm fighting the zombies."
Who's manipulating who?
Who's manipulating? Oh,
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
wow.
Quite a conundrum there.
I thought
Who's
the
the,
writing-
who's the better person here?
The writing is pretty good for this episode.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, back and
Yeah,
forth.
for a muted episode, right? I thought the writing was a bit probably better than the first episode.
Yeah, the first episode was funny. Like so many like jokes left, right, and center. This one's more, restrained. But
Yeah.
then, wow.
Well, you still get some jokes. I mean, you've
Yeah,
got...
there's still some jokes. Yeah.
What's the name of the guy to be a Tyrion?
Tormund.
Tormund.
Giantsbane.
Tormund Giantsbane, yes. His whole story of why he got that name was like,
And how
okay,
it's so big.
something we need
Oh,
to
that's
know.
such a crazy monologue, man.
It was.
That was a crazy flex. It's like, hey, I like this girl. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Jamie. It's like,
And the first words
Where
he
did that
said...
come from, right?
Yeah. And the first words he said after meeting up with his pals, I mean, after meeting out John,
Yeah.
is the big woman still here? I'm glad. I respect him for having his priorities straight line. you know?
Yeah, and also his his methods is like probably our last nights alive. And then he's just like
Hey, I respect him for having balls, you know.
Yeah, it's trying. He tries. He tries.
I think we saw with this episode how different people react differently to oncoming death. Like Arya had some sexy time finally. She chose that route. I'm not the Red Woman.
Yeah,
Take
Red
your own bloody pants off.
Yeah, that
Arya
was
said
funny.
again.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of see that happening in the 4th, 5th season, you know, like that chemistry between him
So
and
this is the payoff.
Arya. Yeah, the payoff, yeah.
Well, I was looking back to the older. I think it's episode 1, season 1, where Robert Baratheon telling, I have a son, you have a daughter. We'll merge our houses. So I guess it's just foreshadowing, and I think that's how the Baratheons and
That's pretty
Starks
cool.
are gonna- that one. It's a nice callback.
But at least in their own terms, lah, not being forced and stuff.
Yeah.
So we saw Arya do that, but then we saw the more seasoned veterans. They're just hanging back, getting drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enjoying the campfire.
And enjoying the campfire. And then we saw the more hardcore veterans like Beric Dondarrion and the Hound. They're just hanging up at the...
It's just like another battle for them.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, I'm just waiting
When
for
you've
it to
killed
happen.
so many people for so many wars, yeah, I'd be like, this is another
I
fight.
mean, Beric Dondarrion came back 19 times.
Yes.
That's crazy, man.
That's overkill.
Will he come back the 20th time?
There's no more Torozumi.
There's no Tarzan.
Oh, okay.
Torozumi
yeah.
is the
And
priest.
only Melisandre can do it.
Where is Melisandre?
That one I don't know.
She is plotting something
Probably
somewhere.
plotting something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so it feels
I
like
could
a
use
setup.
more eye candy from her, lah. She can have
You
that.
saw how old she is.
I know,
right?
I know.
Whatever rocks your boat.
Yeah,
But
Milf.
It is at the end of the day, it is a setup episode to. I don't know. It's like this is how Game of Thrones, right? They build you up, they build your expectations, they build your affections to which character.
And they'll probably cut it down
And then
next
just cut it
episode.
down.
Yeah.
which
People
is
are gonna die next episode, guys.
definitely.
People are
I'm
gonna die.
pretty sure someone's gonna.
Not just someone's, like so many.
Some
of them.
people
Yeah,
are gonna
plural.
Yeah.
They're gonna kick the bucket hard.
Yeah.
And but I would like to see those. You know what always captures me whenever there's a battle scene?
Mhm.
It's how the battle strategies come into play. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
don't let's not talk about Battle of the Bastards because John just
No
Charged.
strategy. No
Not
strategy.
strategy.
at
There
all.
is actually some strategy. They actually did discuss on the war room
Yeah.
table thing.
because I mean, what I'm saying, how those installations are going to be put to play. That's what I'm more interested. I mean, like when we saw the wall, the Night's Watch against the Wildlings, right?
Yeah.
Who thought you'd see those like weird scythes just coming down the wall?
Yeah.
No one
Crazy,
thought.
man.
So it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
I want to see more kick-ass scenes like that.
So I want to see how they use all these weird contraptions. They've got some what you call it?
Oh, ballistas. I think we're gonna get some ballistas. Right?
Ballistas,
Okay, okay.
catapults. They
Yeah.
were building trenches,
Yeah.
and then they were sticking what you call it, dragon glass onto those
Those,
fences. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all the swords that they're being made by the blacksmith and everything. You get to see
So
them being
Brienne
tested.
said she's handling the left flank.
Correct. Yeah.
So basically, if you look at the map where the Night King are coming,
Mhm.
the left flank is where the what you call it, Bran's gonna be at.
The Godswood.
Yeah, the Godswood, right? I
Yeah.
mean, because that's where the
Correct. Yeah. The
Yeah,
left flank.
Brienne-
Yeah.
He's gonna be
He's
there.
more or less bait,
So-
isn't he? Just to bait the leader.
Correct.
Yeah,
For the
if
Night
he-
King.
if
to come
if
out.
he's gonna be bait, a lot of the concentrated enemies are gonna go through Brienne, Brienne and Jaime.
Why wouldn't, if the ride's open, why wouldn't they just go through the ride and then they can just enter Winterfell?
Well, fastest way, right? Because Brienne is taking care of the left flank,
Mhm.
and that's where she's right in front of the Godswood.
Yeah.
So people might not, you might not realize, you just realize this when you look at the map, the Godswood is to the left of Winterfell.
Correct. Yeah.
So Bran is basically gonna be buffered by Ironborn,
Yeah.
Jaime and Brienne, and whatever she has in front of her. But weird thing about that, I haven't seen any Dothraki.
Yeah. Dothrakis didn't have any line at all.
Yeah, I mean, I did see the Dothrakis.
Like we did arrive last
Yeah.
episode.
They were behind Dany
Yeah.
in the War Council, but I don't see.
Not enough money for HBO to pay for them yet. Maybe for the
I mean,
next
they all
episode.
have names, and in the leaders, the chieftains, they had names in previous episodes, and they had lines. So
What's scary is Dothraki looks scary when they charge you.
I think they're gonna be the flank. They're gonna be used to just flank from left and right and whatever. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, they'll get
Because
their time in the
they're
sun.
the mobile unit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Cavalry. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you call it.
cavalry.
Yeah, cavalry.
Cavalry, yeah.
I'm sure they'll get the day in the sun in the next episode or two.
No,
you never
it's
know.
night.
Night,
They
night,
know
night,
that.
night,
Or
night time.
maybe
Yes.
we're gonna have that trope, you know, like what we've seen in Battle of the Bastards, from Lord of the Rings,
Or the Helm's Deep.
or
Helm's Deep battle. Yeah.
Actually, it happened twice for Lord of the Rings, right?
Okay.
Helm's Deep and also at what's the other one?
Which one?
Return
Minas
of-
Tirith.
Minas Tirith, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the same shit. So we're probably gonna see the same thing. I don't.
What, Gandalf coming on a horse and the sun coming with him?
That would be fun.
That'll be Melisandre on a horse instead.
Oh, I would watch that shit. Seriously.
but-
Yeah, I mean, Knights of the Vale are nowhere.
No, they're still there. Everyone's there. I mean, Knights of the Vale.
Oh, that means after Peter Baelish got killed, the Knights of the Vale just stayed there?
Yeah, the Tullys stayed with Sansa.
Okay.
Sansa, yeah.
Okay. Well, one of my favorite scenes from this episode was the one between Jaime and Tyrion when they met up again.
Oh yeah, a couple of times, brother talk.
Yeah,
You know?
and Tyrion was saying about lies and Cersei and the baby.
Yeah.
But didn't we see Cersei drink some wine post Euron last episode? So how does she not care about the baby?
No,
Or
she does.
is that, is
I
it
don't
crazy?
know.
I think she lied. She lies the whole thing.
Yeah, we don't know what her real motivations are anyway. Is she
I mean,
keeping
they
the
were
baby
talking about the
alive?
motivations in that scene,
She's
right?
just manipulative, and even Tyrion said, you know, nothing that she ever spoke to Jaime was the truth.
Yeah.
He just believed because he loved her.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the Night's Watch are back.
Yeah, that's what I appreciate about this episode. Yeah, the Night's Watch.
Brotherhood without banners, and
Yeah.
the Night's Watch finally arrive.
Everyone reuniting and then contemplating on the final days and then the focus and the pacing and everything.
Yeah.
Everything gets resolved. It's like the prelude for a movie before the big fight, you know.
I saw just now Polygon was like the internet's crazy because it's going nuts because they saw Ghost.
Was
John-
Ghost in the scene?
Yeah, he was at the top of it.
Oh, the dog,
Yeah.
right? Yes,
Wait,
yes.
When
When the
they
three of
arrived?
them were up there, they said just just the three of us, right?
Yeah.
I think that's Ghost standing there.
Yeah, he was
And
there.
people saying like, I have a problem with this. People say, oh yeah, Ghost is underutilized. They didn't show him, reuniting with John. To me, that's not the problem. The problem is he looked so small.
Yeah, when he should be huge.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I was wondering what the hell happened to the dogs or the direwolves.
direwolves,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, okay, good, they're still alive. Although I could have sworn they were a bit bigger the last time I saw you.
He looked like pretty pretty small in that because I thought like direwolves should be like super huge.
They should be monsters by now because they're all adult by
Because
now.
we saw
So
Nymeria.
fluffy.
And Nymeria was huge.
Nymeria was huge, and if I'm not mistaken, in the books, Ghost should be the largest of all, right?
Of them all, yeah, definitely. But one of the things that really bugged me a bit was the casual racism of Winterfell.
Actually, I kind of missed that bit. That scene happened when again?
Basically,
I think it's when the what's the name of it?
when the Brotherhood just came,
Oh yeah, when they came down. Yes, yes.
and then we jumped to Miss Sunday.
Miss Sunday, she went out just like casually walking about, and then it just shows like how people are not really keen.
Yeah, she was saying like hello, and then sitting down, and then two kids were like fuck you, and
But-
then they just walked
Oh right, that
But
scene. Yes,
I
yes, yes.
think-
Okay,
I
thank
think
you, thank you.
It's a
Right,
follow
right.
up from episode 1
when they were on their
when they were
horses,
riding because they look different.
and then the other people were like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Kind of shows that there is casual there, but maybe it's just because they don't look similar.
It's still there's some uneasiness with this alliance anyway. I mean, even if the main players
Yeah.
are trying their best to group up, your
They're still
smaller
not united.
characters they're not. Yeah,
Like how
united yet divided. Yeah. Yeah.
So everything goes back to what Jamie said. It's all for survival.
Yeah, yeah,
At the
it's
end of
like
the
a
day,
make or break moment.
When it's
Yeah.
the living against the dead, you don't care who's next to you. You
or
just,
what
Exactly.
color their skin is,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like,
as long as
So-
their eyes aren't blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as you don't look like that, you're fine.
Yeah.
I like that
It's
line
not
where Miss Sunday said, "My people are peaceful. We cannot protect ourselves." And then Grey Worm comes in that, "My people are not peaceful. We will protect you."
That's the cringe moment for this episode.
this
lah.
episode.
It has to
I
be
think I think this is a step up from the whole new world thing from last
that one
episode.
was like more
Yeah.
cheesy, man. The Jamie Knight's Lady Brienne.
Yes, thank you so
It's
much.
been
Yes.
a long time coming, man.
See, we brought the campfire scene. We forgot about the most important
yeah,
part of the
because
campfire.
it leads to that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I don't, I
I'll
think,
show you. You can knight you anytime you want. So there you go. It's done.
And that's
Knights can knight
huge.
knights. Yeah.
And that's huge because, his story goes all the way back to Dunk and Egg, which was what 300 years before or 100 years before Game of Thrones.
I think so.
And there's never been a female knight. This is the first time in the history of Westeros that you're getting a female knight.
And this predates the book, if I recall. I mean now this is already away from what the original book that
Yeah,
George R. R. Martin is writing, right? So
Yeah.
it's the first. Yeah, we witnessed a historical moment in Game of Thrones history. Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, it's a good how to put it, how to encapsulate Brienne's arc because she's pretty much the only person who stuck to her knightly virtues.
Yeah.
Actually, if
Yeah.
you think about it, she kept her promise. She stuck to her guns.
She
and
protected people. She fought a bear. She
Yeah.
fought a lot of people.
Even,
Yeah.
even though she changed allegiances like a few times, right? She was a Baratheon, and then she went to the Starks, and then suddenly
She's always been a pawn
Hmm.
of like one house,
Yep.
and then now finally she comes into her own. So I feel that's her arc.
Yep. I'm also happy for Podrick because now he's
It's pretty badass.
pretty
Yeah.
badass.
You know, it's like
He can fight.
Yeah, he can fight, and I think he's a proper squire, and I think that's also a good, once you upgrade Brienne, you also upgrade her squire, right?
yeah, definitely.
It's
And that was a sad song he sang.
well, if you realize, that song, I think if you go to Spotify, it's sung by Florence and the Machine, right?
Is it?
It is.
If I'm not mistaken,
Oh.
correct me if I'm wrong, but
Okay.
I was browsing YouTube like almost immediately after the show, and I had Florence and the Machine singing it.
Wow.
Apparently, so isn't it the same tune to the Stark tune?
Not
like-
sure.
I mean,
Is it probably of influence?
According to the writers, the first verse was from the books, but then everything else they added.
no, the melody.
The melody was by Benioff and Weiss. They
It's
they
the
found the melody somewhere.
It's
Okay,
like it's
okay.
like whenever people go back to Winterfell and there's this like sad violin tune at the back. It feels like it can be interspersed with that.
Oh, one other favorite was you asked for this one last episode.
Oh, which one?
We finally saw Lady Lyanna Mormont and Ser Jorah Mormont.
Yeah,
have a
finally
scene.
talking.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. We did it. It was short, brief, but actually, again, it just satisfied the criteria
It's like,
before
well,
a big
yeah,
fight. You know.
yeah.
I don't know. I have a feeling. Okay, this is gonna cut a bit, but I think it's gonna be cut now.
Yeah, because she did say, "I wish you good fortune, cousin." And like Ser Jorah's asking her to just hang out in the crypts.
Yeah.
She's like, "No, I want to go into battle."
You only have 42
Famous
men.
last words, basically.
Famous last words, right?
You only have 42 men. That was before the Battle of the Bastards. So how the hell? Oh,
Yeah,
well.
pride goes before a fall, and he's
Yeah,
probably
it's,
fall.
it's setting up for that. It looks
Yes.
like it. Right? It looks
Yeah.
like it. And we finally come to that final scene, the one where Jon Snow confesses to Dany.
Yeah. Which, again, it's expected because we knew about what the revelation from last week's episode to the payoff for this episode. And then it got cut off by, the zombies coming in.
It's nice that it was at Lyanna Stark's. It was in the crypts and it
Yep.
was at Lyanna Stark's headstone, was it, or tombstone?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Statue,
yeah. The statue.
Yeah.
It's
That
funny
was
that who's that? It's my mom.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
my
I was
mom.
like,
He could have.
mom.
It would be funny when it's like, oh, that's my mom.
Actually, if they want to shave off 10 minutes of that episode, yeah, you should just say that
That's
line.
my
That's
mom.
mom.
And then she
Yeah.
married,
Yeah.
and then she married your
To be
brother.
continued.
And then she'd be like, what?
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
It's funny how they both see it from different angle. Like Danny was saying like, oh, that your aunt got raped or whatever, and then she's saying like, no, they actually got married.
Yeah.
And then she called shit on it. Like, oh, so your best friend and your brother told you this shit. How do you know it's true?
But you saw how
Yeah,
she's trying to
yeah.
retract. She's like, yeah, he gave money to the money to the beggars, help people, and then they claim that he raped. It's like she's like, nah, that's a stupid accusation. And it's like, yeah, he didn't. And no, I want to take it back. So she's probably regretting it because she's probably, if you realize in the first few scenes, right, she felt that he's giving her the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
So she's trying to, I'm gonna make you feel good, say all these bad things. Like shit, man, I shouldn't have said that.
And then,
Yeah.
and I like as it dawned upon her, she said, if it was true, it would make you the last male heir of House Targaryen. You'd have a claim to the Iron Throne. ... And then suddenly it goes like bah, 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 bah.
Yep.
So it's like he didn't even get to answer back.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but knowing John, he's like, you can have it.
But I don't. But then there could be a situation where, as he's about to say it, something bad will happen.
Maybe.
I feel that could happen.
Yeah.
It feels like it's scary because she told Sansa, I don't care, I just want the Iron Throne. And now in front of her, there's this guy who has the most legit claim to the Iron Throne.
Basically, cock blocking her lah.
And if you go back to the opening scene with Jaime, you can see that Sansa was in power, so people were just talking to Sansa. Then Dany was in power, so people were just talking to Dany.
Yes.
And then as an afterthought, she went like, so Warden of the North, what do you think?
Yes. It felt like she just like, by the way.
By the end of the episode, it's flipped. And I was like, he has the legal
Yep.
claim to the Iron Throne. It's
Yeah.
like,
That's gonna.
I'm not an afterthought after all, man.
We have four episodes to see how this shit's gonna blow up. So it's gonna be really, really fun.
Do you have any favorite quotes from the episode? I think yours.
I already said mine already.
The big woman stays here.
It's bonus here. Yeah. I mean, I know it's the most comedic one, but at the same time, yeah, let's break the tension.
I think as a continuation, I also like when Tormund was at the War Council,
Yep.
and he said this as he was looking to Brienne. It's like, we're all going to die, but at least we died together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So cheesy, man. That's so
Yeah,
cheesy.
that's also
And he
my
was
second
like,
favorite.
He was
yeah.
like leering at Brienne as he was saying that.
That was fun. That was fun.
I'll give him snaps for that. Points for trying.
My other favorite one was, and where they were all on the ramparts, and then the Night's Watch guy said, when there was just three of them, he said like, Samuel Tarly, Slayer of White Walkers, lover of ladies. Should we need any more signs that the world is ending?
Ending. Yeah.
That was
I
like,
thought you had a good reply to it, right? Like, how fucked are we?
Yeah. How fucked are
It was
we?
like, and then I thought he gave a quick retort back to him. It was like, not as fucked as you or something like that. It's kind of fun. It's a good banter.
because that means that guy's still a virgin. I mean, that's what the Night's Watch are, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
basically what Simon
That's what he was saying,
That was kind of.
I got laid before you did. Ha ha ha. And
now
I'm the one
we're all
reading the
gonna
books.
die.
Yeah.
It's like-
So, I mean, what are your predictions for the next episode? And of course, to cap it off, name your top 3 people who will probably bite it in the next episode.
So, as like a fact check, next episode is gonna be the longest episode of the
80
whole
minutes.
season. It's 82 minutes.
82 minutes.
Of
2
non-stop
minutes.
fighting, most likely.
Yeah, and in real life, it took them 55 nights in a row to shoot next week's episode.
Okay.
55 nights in a
Yeah,
row.
basically they're not fucking this up at all.
This
It's
is
gonna
the-
be the big one.
This is the longest battle that we will see, and it is the longest episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, episode 3 will probably start immediately with action because.
Yeah, it already went bam, bam, bam.
So I think this is gonna be freaking crazy. We're just gonna start with action.
82 minutes.
82 minutes.
Even Helm's Deep was just 30 something minutes, man.
Yeah. I mean the setup, right? The setup is longer than that.
Yeah.
This one is just gonna be a full long. So when people who's gonna die, I'm thinking the A tier. I mean when I say the A tier, the most highest paid actors like Sansa, John
and Dany, yeah.
I don't think they're gonna.
They're gonna survive.
They're gonna survive. And probably gonna be Arya, Beric, and probably Grey Worm.
You mentioned Brienne as well too, right?
Yeah, but Brienne, it's kind of cheating. We said 3 only, so I'm
Okay.
thinking
I
about
guess 3. Yeah, you're right.
most. I wouldn't be surprised if even if I name Brienne, all 4 of these are gonna fight it. But I have a feeling Arya is going to be the biggest casualty because she doesn't play the biggest role in terms of leadership. What about you?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with that pick you mentioned. I'll take your pick, Brienne.
Okay.
Brienne, she might either be paralyzed or die. I mean, which is probably a fate worse than death if you're a knight, if someone who just knighted, right? So,
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, she probably won't live long to actually see the fruits of her labor when fighting, most likely.
Okay.
For the second and third pick, that's a really
the
tough
fact
one.
that she's on the left flank, and
Yeah, yeah.
that's where the most fighting is going to
Yeah,
happen.
she'll have a glorious death at the very least. Theon Greyjoy, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be a nice payoff. Like
Between
finally
Theon
saving
and
the friends.
Rhaenyra, maybe, you know,
Yeah.
have one last redemption act before he bites it, basically.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. And the last one would be, I'm gonna guess Clegane the Hound might take it, might eat it. Like, his arc has kind of got paid off, like being the sort of mentor buddy character to Arya at one point, and then Arya succeeding him. There's really no need for him to be around except for a glorious death.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanna say
bowl.
that's the only reason that I don't think he'll die.
Yeah.
Because of at the moment,
Kill his brother, the mountain.
Oh, the mountain,
Yeah,
right.
Or the zombie mountain.
the writers have been fan servicing a lot of
Yeah.
right now. So for them to just
I guess so, yeah, I guess so.
He needs to put down the zombie,
Yeah.
man. It's like,
Maybe someone else could help out that. Who knows?
for me, yeah, you guys just let me minor characters. So for me, it's that last, the current Night's Watch leader, commander.
Ned, isn't Ned? Ed.
Yeah, I think he's
The
gonna.
guy with the beard and everything.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
remember
sacrifice
him.
himself to save Samuel. You know,
Oh, okay, that's
like
a
they
nice
might be
one.
like, you know, back to back, and then I'm gonna sacrifice for you, brother. You know, and maybe Podrick to save Brienne. It's like, you know, oh, you taught me, you mentored me.
Okay, that will be a set. That'll be sad for that.
And the last one, maybe another dragon dies.
Ooh, okay, that's a character. That's a character.
Right? So like for the final battle, there'll only be one dragon v one dragon. Now it's a little bit uneven.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be Drogon.
Yeah,
Is it gonna be Drogon or the other one?
it might be Rhaegar. Oh, so you're
And-
telling me Drogon goes down?
I have a feeling if it's gonna, I didn't pick a dragon, but if you say a dragon's gonna go down, I think it's gonna be Drogon.
Drogon.
Because don't forget, at the end of the day, we still know there's gonna be a battle against the
in King's Landing, yeah.
the Golden Company. So
Yeah.
if you have dragons, it's not a fair fight.
Yeah. So they gotta take out one, man.
Yeah, at least or maybe both.
They might take out one in this episode, in the next episode, and
Or
for
main
the King's Landing episode where they fight, most likely,
Or they
the
main
other
one.
dragon might die.
There'll just be one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Make it an even.
Make it
Make it
an
even
fight,
fight, yeah.
For dramatic pathos, everything. Because again, this is your last season. I know I've been saying this a lot, but you gotta win big with all that money you've been
Yeah.
putting into your advertising, all that. You gotta make sure it's a Hollywood kind of ending.
So will episode 3 be the biggest episode, biggest battle?
Yeah, man.
This season?
Yes, it will.
82 minutes, man.
Or
I
are
hope
we-
it doesn't bore the shit out of me.
55
hopefully.
nights in a row, man. What do you film 55 nights in a row?
I don't know.
I can't brain, man.
I don't think you'll be filming the same wall for 59 episodes.
Maybe it's just different segments.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like we
Different
jump
shades
to
of the
flank,
walls,
We
yeah.
jump to the, you know, to the Godswood. We jump.
Hmm.
What the fuck? 55
59,
That's crazy.
59
That's
nights.
crazy, man.
Crazy,
Even
dude.
Hollywood doesn't like think of any big battle like Helm's Deep or whatever. It wasn't 55 nights in a row.
Oh, okay.
This is a record, man.
That I hope the battle is shot in a way that I'm invested in everything that happens every single minute.
Definitely.
Like how I was for when the wildfire happened in the second season.
yeah.
Battle of the Bastards, of course, and the battle in the seventh season, the one with the dragon setting everyone on fire.
The caravan.
Oh,
The caravan,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff, good stuff.
So we'll keep a score on who gets the most correct picks on who dies.
Yep. And that's it for our Game of Thrones Episode 2 recap for Season 8. Don't forget to join us and check out the rest of our works on buzzpop.tv and thekkp.com. So this has been Mr. Toffee signing out,
Nick Nazri Iskandar.
Can.
and see ya.